straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope. So today, I've got to talk about someone who well, I never thought I would talk about him in this light anyway. But I got a call, got a message, a couple of messages, I think, uh, just about someone who probably not one of my favorite people, but definitely people that spoke to me, definitely not their favorite. Ian Levers, the boss of the Queensland Police Union. So he was filmed meeting up with Paul Pisasale, former mayor of Ipswich, Paul Pisasale. Now, while I was at the Crime and Corruption Commission working as a physical surveillance officer, we were the ones who started the investigation. Sorry, shouldn't say we started it. I was just there in the team when it all began, when the investigation, as far as our part, it all started. And then we were there at the very end, when the hammer came down on Paul Pisasale. And we'd watched him for a long time, what he was doing. And he was just well, he was on a whole other level. When it came to crime and corruption, he was next level. He was, and the funny thing is, I actually met Paul, spoke to him face to face. Very, very affable, uh, just very nice person. You would talk to him, and you felt like, yeah, he's listening to me. He's talking to me. He's not talking down. He was a great politician. You could see why he was so popular. And then when it all crashed down, I just remember following him around, thinking, I don't know where this fella. He was in his late 60s, and where does he get the energy for the stuff that he was doing? I mean, it was crazy. So anyway, if you don't know about former Mayor Paul Pisasale, former Ipswich Mayor, I'll just tell you a bit of facts about him. Then we'll get into what's happened with Ian Levers. Okay, so former Ipswich Mayor Paul Pisasale. So he has been sentenced. He was sentenced to 7.5 years jail in the District Court in Ipswich. Pisasale, who was 69 at that time, previously pleaded guilty to more than 30 offences, including sexual assault, official corruption. Oh, heck, was there corruption? They had like 50 million, I think it was. 50 million disappeared. Not bad corruption and fraud. So Judge Dennis Lynch, QC, said Pasali would be eligible for parole in October of 2022. The court heard Pasali used council money to purchase items at auction, some of which he personally benefited from. A lot of it he benefited from. Yeah. Two items were found in a locked storage space at his girlfriend's business premises, the court was told. I'll tell you something about his girlfriend. And this is one. They're talking about his girlfriend's business. This is one girlfriend. If I remember correctly, he had several, but this was one, quite a bit younger than him. I think she was like early 40s, quite an attractive, youngish looking blonde lady, a business lady. Lived very close to his own house, actually. I think it was maybe 5 minute drive from his house to her house. So yeah, and yeah, got to keep things close, I suppose. So, and that was only one of them. He was a shocker. Anyway, so he says, the judge goes on and says, I conclude your primary purpose in pursuing this dishonesty was self promotion. Judge Lynch said. The court heard that during his time as mayor, tens of thousands of dollars worth of donations were deposited into Pasali's personal bank account. Not just his bank account. He was receiving cash. He was receiving like proper thick envelopes full of cash, full of wads of cash. Uh, he goes, I conclude that this dishonest conduct was a cynical exploitation of your position engaged in purely for your own financial gain. Pasali supported a development application to go through council and in return received $28,500 in payments from that developer, the court was told. He also championed a development in Yamanto in exchange for discounted escort services. There was, I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but there was a lot of them. Eh, He was Oh, he had his sexual appetites just crikey. You got no idea. He's just every day. Judge Lynch said the offences of official corruption and receipt of secret commission by an agent involved calculated dishonesty and betrayal of your position as mayor of Ipswich. Anyway, so he handed him down a head sentence of 7.5 years in jail. Judge Lynch said he took into account Pisale's age, poor health, because I think he had MS or has MS, and his show of remorse. Show of remorse. The only remorse he had was because he got caught. That's it. That's the only way. That's the only remorse. He got caught. Pisale will be eligible for parole anyway. So in June so he posed as a private investigator. This is one of the issues. In June last year, this is an old article, it said Pisale was found guilty of extortion and sentenced to 2 years jail, suspended after 1 year. He posed as a private investigator and demanded thousands of dollars from the ex-boyfriend of a Chinese escort. The Chinese escort who was very good friends with Pisale. So he was just doing her favors. Pisale resigned as mayor of Ipswich wearing a hospital gown and slippers in June 2017, citing health concerns, a day after the Crime and Corruption Commission searched his home and office. I tell you, I still remember, actually, I'll bring it up. So this is the day after they searched, the Crime and Corruption Commission searched his home and office. So literally, I think it might have been a week earlier, we'd had him out in his usual trips around town, visiting massage parlors, going to the pub, drinking, um, other things that he was partaking in. And then the Crime and Corruption Commission raided his home and offices, and then next minute he holds a press conference and he comes out and he's dressed. Let me show you, and he's dressed like this in the hospital gown. In the hospital gown, you can see that picture. He's dressed in that hospital gown like that. Yeah, all of a sudden, his MS, I think it was MS. Yeah, his MS had flared up or something, and well, he had to go. The craziest thing you ever saw.
News has exclusively obtained video showing the disgraced and corrupt former Ipswich mayor mingling with one of Queensland's most high-profile police figures. Convicted sex offender Paul Pisale turning heads at the races today, raising concerns about who else he's associating with. Josh Bavis joins me in the studio now with the details. And Josh, good evening to you. What does the video show?
Well, Mia, the video that we're about to show is from the Ipswich Turf Club today for the Ipswich Cup. A very busy day with many people. Among the guests was convicted sex offender.
Okay, so if you don't know, this here on the left, that's Paul Pisale, former mayor of Ipswich, extremely corrupt individual. Like I said, 30, I think it was 30 charges, and that there on the right, wearing the little police ribbon there wearing that on his jacket. That is president of the police union, Ian Levers. He's president. Anyway, so he's been the boss of the Queensland Police Union for many, many years. So that's him there.
Offender and corrupt former Mayor Paul Pisale, who attended the VIP section of the races. It should be noted that Pisale is still a parolee, and while he may be out of jail, he's still serving a 7-year sentence.
Still, so this does blow me away a little. Okay, I would think that Ian Levers would know better to be hanging out with someone who was on parole, especially someone as high profile. Now, granted, I think he comes up with, he's part of the turf club out there, and he's allowed to mingle with whoever he wants. Really, it's just not a good look. Your members are out putting criminals behind bars, and that is how they're the ones that pay you. You get your money because of union fees, union dues that get paid by its members. And then you're out mixing with one of the most high profile criminals that's ever come out of the Queensland political system. This individual was so corrupt. The things that, anyway, and it blows my mind. What, would he be doing the same thing if this was bikies, if this was other elements from all organized crime? Would he be doing this, or is it just because it's someone like Paul Pisasale? It just the thinking. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking.
After being convicted of more than 30 charges, including sexual assault, fraud, corruption, perjury and drug possession. You can see here the disgraced former mayor is drinking with the head of our state's police union, Ian Levers, who represents more than 12,500 Queensland police officers. Well, former Labor Police Minister Joanne Miller has given a statement to 9 News saying the president of the police union should know better than to be seen in...
Now, one thing, I agree with what she's saying. President of the police union should know better. However, this is Joanne Miller, former Queensland Police Minister. What I would, if you've listened to me before, you would have heard me talk about our current Police Minister, Mark Ryan. I don't have much time for him. I don't think he's very good at his job. He was the one that was standing next to Katerina. Remember Katerina Carroll on Katerina, talking about how, if police didn't agree with getting the jab, well, then they could just move on and we'll just hire some new ones. It's that easy peasy. Just hire some new ones, because he doesn't care about policing. He knows nothing about policing and about the things that you have to undergo, the intensity of it. Knows nothing. In his little pea brain mind, he was just like, well, we'll just find new ones. It's easy as just, throw a pebble, hit someone on the street, say, hey, come and be a copper. It's as easy as that if you listen to him. But notice that he didn't make any statement. No, Mark Ryan, good for nothing.
In the company of a convicted sex offender and a convicted corrupt mayor. The police union itself should disassociate itself with this sort of behaviour. The current mayor, who also attended the races today, says she was disappointed to see Pisasale rubbing shoulders with civic leaders.
He's caused so much pain for our city. He set us back, has created so much damage. Look, he's on parole. He's allowed to be out in public. And I guess I just ask that some respect is shown towards the people of Ipswich.
It's important to note that Mr Levers is allowed to mingle with parolees if he wishes to do so.
Yeah, he is allowed. But why would you? That's what I don't get. Why would you do it? Anyway.
Just a few minutes ago, he issued a statement to 9 News saying that he is a committee member of the Ipswich Turf Club, so he was happy to be in attendance at the Ipswich races on the biggest day of the Ipswich racing calendar. As for Pisasale, though, we would like to interview him, but we're not allowed to because the law states we're not allowed to interview parolees while they're still serving their term. Mia, that's the law as it stands, and that video is very interesting.
So there you go. So... What do you think? Ian Levers, president of the Queensland Police Union, should he be doing that? I really don't think so. I don't think it's a good look. Remember, any police that are watching from Queensland, your union fees, go towards paying his salary. Is it money well spent when you think this is what he's doing, associating with someone like Paul Pisasale? Just a little bit of corruption coming out of Paul Pisasale. And anyway, my opinion is that he shouldn't be. He should not be associating with someone. It's not a good look. It doesn't do anything for the Queensland Police Service. It definitely doesn't do anything for the Queensland Police Union. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. I'm Jay Fallon. Thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope.
And say it isn't real, and please don't go away. Just give me one more day. What if I could turn back time? I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. What if I could? What if I could turn back time, I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. We could start again. We could start again. We could start again.